have heard of the lucky girl syndrome on TikTok. It all revolves around the idea that you can make anything you want happen if you believe in it enough. While research backs up a positive mindset, life and barriers make approach more complicated. So here to talk about it is Amy Baumgartner and Sarah Simone from the podcast Unqualified Therapists and our friends here at Talk Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So happy to have you
I'm
here.
so glad to be back. Thank you.
And this whole idea of like lucky girl syndrome, we'll get into this, but it's not really a new concept. It's this whole idea of manifesting, right?
Yeah. So manifesting's been around for forever, and we talked about that in our episode on the podcast. So, luck, though, is believing that you are lucky. So if you believe that you're lucky, you see opportunities, you see possibilities, you see things that you wouldn't have seen otherwise.
So it's really about like having this positive mindset, truly believing that things are coming to you because you're lucky.
Absolutely, right. So there's this big toss-up, though, where people are like, this is just toxic positivity in disguise. And so I have to admit, we actually had that point of view for a while. And then we kind of really dug into it and learned about it. And what we've really realized is that toxic positivity is more of a reactive thing. So when somebody says something or something happens and you react in this toxic positivity tone of like, just to put a personal example, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, people were like, well, at least you'll get new implants. Right. Isn't that exciting? Yeah. Silver lining. And I was like, oh,
yeah, no, I'd rather not have this happening to me. Right.
But then lucky girl syndrome or manifestation is more of a proactive approach. So you are just starting your day off by saying, great things always happen to me. Things flow my way. I am creating the life that I am destined to have or that I deserve.
So, okay, so for me, this is less about like toxic positivity and almost more about like being narcissistic then. Am I saying that right? Because it's like, oh, it's all about me, things are gonna happen for me. Does that change, or am I seeing this wrong?
I can see how you could think that, but really, if you think about it, the things that you want to happen for you are also happening for other people.
Yeah.
So it's not selfish, and things aren't going to just like lightning strike happen. So you're not going to have all of these wonderful lucky things happen. It's small things. Yeah. So it's just about also gratitude. So it's thinking and seeing things in a different lens. Like, I'm so grateful that I get to do this in the middle of the day with like these wonderful people, and just kind of seeing it in that light.
So being proactive. So is it important then to almost think of this as manifesting, like saying to yourself, this year I am going to have a new talk show. Like every day waking up and saying, I'm going to do this. This is going to happen for me. I'm going to make this happen.
Yes.
And that's kind of along the,
Yeah, absolutely. Our brains love patterns. So they're always going to look for patterns. So if you walk around talking in a negative tone and saying, I have no luck, nothing good ever happens for me, your brain is going to look for that to be true. Right. So if you walk around saying, I am going to have a new talk show, I'm going to be sitting here with Heather Abraham and talking about lucky girl syndrome, then those things are going to start to happen for you because your brain is looking for those opportunities, and then you are going to act upon those opportunities more likely to do that.
But you're going to see them as well. So you're going to see them, and you might have just ignored them before, and you might have gotten so frustrated that things weren't happening that you just give up. And I like to use us as an example because I was re-listening to the episode, and in the episode, we just kept making podcasts, right? Nobody was really catching on. We were like, things were kind of hitting walls. And in the Lucky Girl episode, I said, yeah, I'm putting it out there. We're going to be on a talk show on Good Morning America, right? This is just as good, everyone. So
I love you.
So here we are, right? And so that was in January when we said that. And it wasn't because we did anything big. We just kept doing the things day after day that we know that could bring us opportunities.
Well, and it's like fate found
I know, right? I know.
I love that. How about misplaced optimism? Because I think that sometimes maybe we look at a situation that really isn't good. Is it okay for us to try and find the good, or to think about things as being futuristically good? Like something might come out of this.
Only for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't do it for other people.
Right.
So we've had tragedy, and we won't get into that again, but if someone were to have said to me like, well, at least he isn't suffering anymore, I was like, no, but later on, I can say I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that I had those years with him, that he was with my kids, that he's their father, those sorts of things, or whatever it is. You can't do that to somebody else, though. You have to say, it has to come from yourself.
And I found that with toxic positivity with others.
Yeah.
You know, when they come in, everything is going to be fine. And you're like, you don't. I'm not in that situation. I'm not in that mindset right now. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it has to be coming from you.
That's really great stuff. Well, get the right mindset. We're all there today. Thank you guys so much for coming on
Thank you
today.
so much for having us.
So nice to see you
Thank
as
you.
always.